Well, hello, and I'm not sure what happened to Tamara there, so I'm just gonna vamp for a minute. Welcome to Let's Talk with Fabulous show, and I'm not quite sure why I'm on, but I know she will be back here momentarily. Um, okay, I'm very confused at the moment. Hello, hello. And I guess Tamara is throwing me into the deep end here, and she's just something happened. So, welcome. Oh, golly gee, this is just so much fun, and I am so pleased to be here with y'all. And oh, her camera is out. That's the problem. Okay, well, I know that she will figure that out and get back in here. And I've just, my name is Gloria Grace Brand, and I want to welcome you. And we're just going to jump right in and have our lovely, wonderful panel here just start introducing yourselves. And because, yeah, let's just do that. Let's see, who wants to go first? How about Skip Poe? Why don't you jump in here?
Well, hello, I'm Skip, or also known as Poe, a name that my grandkids gave me, or my first grandchild, a long time ago, was just calling me Poe because I didn't want to be called Grandpa or Papaw. But I'm in North Arkansas in the Ozark Mountains. I've been a part of this group and for over probably 10 years or so, and just thrilled to be here and be a part of what you guys are going to be talking about today.
All right, excellent. Thanks so much. And how about Janice? Can you share with us a little bit about who you are, where you're calling in from today? Where are you in the world as well? Oh, you need to unmute.
Northern Arkansas. And I'm at a place I call the Nature Connection, which is the love of my life, to be out here in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the mountains.
All right, excellent. And how about Joy? Let's hear from you.
Oh, yes, thank you so much, Gloria. I'm coming in from Southern California, and I am passionate about how we use our minds. I'm a mind mentor and trainer of the mind arts, and I'm so excited to be here today with all of you.
Well, we are excited to have you as well. And last but certainly not least, Wanita.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be at this super fabulous show. I'm Juanita Kapp, and I come from South Africa. I'm a level 5 religious professional. I work a lot with energy, and I'm also an empath, and I can't wait to see what transpires in this show.
Excellent, excellent. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is live and I am back, so let's just go on. So we had an opportunity to hear from everybody here, and we have a sidekick in our organization and the Fab Show. We want to hear from Renee, and then we're going to dive into the 2024 Eclipse.
Hello, welcome to today's fabulous show. My name is Renee Reich. I'm so grateful to have you with us today because today Tamara will be joined by some expert panelists speaking about our recent eclipse that we had and what does it all mean and what happens with that. I mean, it's here and it's gone, but what happened during the eclipse and what happens after the eclipse? What are the vibrational energies that surrounds it? So stay tuned for this fabulous show. Get ready to take some copious notes, as I know you will want to do, and sit back, relax, and enjoy. Have a fabulous show. Take care.
Thank you, Renee. And now what we want to do, you've already met her, and you know what? This is a team effort, as you just saw. And I want to welcome one of our newest members to this team, the Fab Show, Gloria. So there we go. We're initially done with the beginning of the show. Let's have some fun. We're going to set it off with, one of our guests, wink, wink, is, well, one time I gave him an Academy Award, and he corrected me, and he said, you know what, let's just go with the real one. It's an Emmy. So we have an Emmy Award-winning filmmaker that had some fun with this subject. Let's start the show with that.
As we edge closer to something truly strange and buzzworthy, let's talk about the total solar eclipse happening on April 8th, 2024.
News coming out is just getting weirder and weirder.
Solar eclipse, and now the National Guard is being called in.
County, New York's Board of Supervisors has preemptively declared a state of emergency.
Some schools along the path have already canceled in-person learning on April 8th.
Could it impact the power grid? Why is NASA shooting rockets into the moon's shadow during today's event?
Experts have stated that on April 8th, there may be a massive influx of UFO sightings.
It was a typical day in the Ozark Mountains near Mountain View, Arkansas.
People are coming in from all over the country. Where are you from?
We're from Alpine, Utah.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
I just heard about a conspiracy theory that if we look at it, that we're all going to be under some kind of spell, so maybe we'll turn into zombies after.
We're just coming here in case Jesus comes, because then if he does, we didn't miss it,
Arkansas, the governor made it a national emergency.
Really?
Yeah. But I think it's cool. I think it's a good thing.
For 4 minutes, it really gets cool.
Get it?
So did you get carried away? That's the question we all are.
Oh, you said have fun, and that's what, and this is having fun. It became one of the most talked about things in the world. And there's 5 eclipses or so every year, and they've been going on for a long time. And suddenly around the world, everybody's talking about this one. And then it became one thing on top of another thing on top of another thing. So so I thought, when you said let's talk eclipse, I thought, well, let's have fun with it. And there's some pretty significant things that I kind of sense happen too, but we'll get into that later.
Perfect. And you know what fun was it? Does anybody want to say anything about it? I know that you and Janice actually there, because you both are in Arkansas, you guys kind of hung out on the eclipse. So I was wondering, Janice, did you see any of those little green guys around on your property too?
Oh, well, not really, but it was a magnificent experience, I'm telling you. And I think one of the things that I didn't expect, when I guess it was kind of in totality, were the other planets that would show up in the sky. And you just kind of think, well, they were there all along. We just couldn't see them. And there are so many things in life that are there all along. We just don't see them. So I don't know. That's kind of what hit home with me.
I love it. I love it. We're going to actually jump around a bit right now because everybody did a little bit of a video for this show, and I have one that you actually were in Texas, even though you're from South Africa, Juanita, and you did the whole experience and you recorded it and you sent it in. So let's see that, okay?
Good day, everyone. This is Juanita Kapp from South Africa, and today I'm recording this video from Tyler, Texas, and oh my, what a wonderful day it was. I had the opportunity to see the solar eclipse. It was so beautiful to see the sun vanish behind the moon for minutes at a time as the eclipse traveled what is called the path of totality. But was this only a physical phenomenon that took place? Definitely not. There is a spiritual meaning to everything that we know, see, and understand. I want you to know that. The eclipse symbolizes a time of darkness and spiritual renewal, offering an opportunity for introspection and the shedding of old energies. That is wonderful news. Out with the old energies and in with new, fresh, vibrating, good energy. It's a time for new beginnings.
A time for new beginnings. And oh my, we got claps going. And I want to welcome our digital audience with us. And we're going to have Gloria putting up your comments. And we want to encourage you. Where were you on that big day, April the 8th? Were you here in the United States? Were you anywhere in the world that you kind of were aware of it? What did you observe? We want to recognize you also. You're a very big part of the Fab Show. So, let's talk about that. New beginnings. Why did you say that?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tamara. I really, the part that I enjoyed the most about what I saw was the fact that, as it started to get dark and it started to get light again, I realized that it's the washing away of that old energy. It's the alignment of us again with ourselves and with the universe. And it's a natural process. And the moment we start to realize that everything that we see in the physical has a spiritual and an energetic connection, that's when we start to realize we have new beginnings open to us all the time. We just have to see them. We have to open ourselves to envision that. So for me, I experienced it in my own life and saw that the veil is very, very thin and that old things were washing away, things that didn't serve me any longer, things that I wasn't using anymore or wanted to experience anymore. And it just ushered in all the new things. And that was just beautiful. It felt like a new beginning for me.
I love it. I love it. You're not the only one that mentioned something like that. I want to recognize Pati Maez also, because we did have a graphic out there with Pati's image on it, and she was going to come in and share, and she's been a little under the weather, and I don't mean because of the solar eclipse. So we want to wish you well and healing energy to you, my dear, and I'm glad to have you here. Yet she did actually offer up an image that we're going to share during the show. Next, I'm going to go to you, Joy, with your clip, and then we're going to talk about what it is that you shared, because it kind of piggybacks off of what Wanita just said.
Happy total eclipse of the sun, and it's the new moon, and this is the time that we get to plant the seeds that we want to have blossom going forward. And with this eclipse, we're letting go, we're facing our own shadows and coming into our own light, balancing it, the shadow and the light together. So enjoy this journey. For some of you and for me, it can be a little intense at times. Know we're all in this together. And let's look forward to this brand new energy coming forth as we go forward into the next weeks and months and this year ahead.
Fabulous. Okay, so you sent in this image, and I'm like, okay, how fun is this? You had the retro glasses and you were ready for action. Yeah, you have a real, because of your training, your understanding, and everything that you were out there teaching, you have a real understanding of this on multiple levels also. Actually, truthfully, this whole panel does. And I'd like to kind of go into now a bit of a panel discussion, and you can start it off in the fact that we've talked about new beginnings, we've talked about this energy, we've talked about what is it that we're in April of 2024. What is it that we're expecting out of 2024? Skip's video and contribution was like, okay, do we have little green people that are going to be showing up? And all the news stuff that was out there, there's just a lot going on. And Swampy, glad that you're here. We're going to be sharing something from Swampy later in the show. So with all of that combined, I'd like to talk with each of us, because also we have a nature connection here too. And we're going to dive deep into how the sky, the sun, the moon, the earth, and our spirits all align going forward. What is your thought?
Well, gosh, we are all interconnected, aren't we, with everything in this beautiful universe upon universes. And it's so, I'll say mind-boggling, Tamara, and my beautiful panel here, to even think about what is going on, really. And so this whole hoopla around this eclipse, and Poe, you did, that was absolutely incredible. And then also, Wanita, you showed how it's this beautiful interconnectedness in the clearing, how lovely. It's that we are so focused on, I feel like the world was very focused for different reasons that were talked about, whether they were religious, whether they were prophetic, wherever they were coming from, about that we are all looking for some kind of revelation in ourselves and change. And we are in big times of change. And it is a time of wonderful clearing. We all felt that too after this eclipse, like big winds came through and have come through, and we're in new timelines. And I'll let everyone else go next there, Tamara.
I love it. I love it. Who would like to piggyback off of that? Okay, I'm going to start with you, Skip, and then we'll go to Janice.
That was beautiful, Joy. And, one of the things I just kind of wanted to add to that, I mean, the focus of what is happening, and I had fun with my video, but what was interesting is the whole world seemed to focus at this event, which was amazing. As we look around this world and we see so many paradigms of different things kind of troubled or challenged, breaking down, we see this rebirth of what do we want instead, and people actually considering and talking. And briefly, I went into a little store in a little town near here called Big Flat, and it's not big and it's not flat, and it's probably a population of 200 people or less. And there were about 10 people in the store, and the guy working behind, I've talked to him about a lot of conspiracy, you name it. And so when I walked in, they were all deep in conversation, and they go, ask him, he knows. And I'm going, what? Okay, I'll tell you whatever. And they asked me what I thought was happening, what would happen to, them and humanity. And I said, well, it depends on what timeline you're on. And they go, normally they'd run out the room, or they'd call the police or something. They actually sat there and for 15, 30 minutes got into a lot of esoteric spiritual philosophy. And these are country people talking about something amazing. So we're seeing a shifting, and I think it has to do with where we are to be part of helping others navigate that, including ourselves. And back to, I was out there with Janice, and we took our shoes off, grounded, and listened to the animals, the connection to the animals and the birds and things changed during that. So I know she had her hand up. It'd be a great time to hear her connection to that.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and put you in there, and let's hear from you.
Well, okay. Actually, I am deep into the nature connection, and that's not just a little term to say. It's something that I'm willing to give my life for, And, God gives each of us purpose for our lives. And mine is to bring people closer to nature and to realize that they are part of nature. And we have signs that reinforce what our purpose is every day. And it was so ironic that the night before the eclipse, a friend of mine called me in the middle of the night, and she said, my son-in-law cut down a tree in our backyard and a nest of baby squirrels fell on the ground. And my grandchildren have the squirrels, and they're not going to make it. Would you please come and get them? So I jumped up. I mean, what choice do you have? I jumped up, drove, 10 or 12 miles to her house, gathered the baby flying squirrels, brought them back, and said, okay, now what am I going to do with them? So I figured it out, and they've been with me a week now, and they're great. They're running around all over the place, and all of that. So they're going to make it. But the determination of those little squirrels to live was just something monumental. But anyway, I guess my point is that God shows us what's in our heart and tells us, do something about this. And you need to respond. You don't just need to say, well, somebody else will do it, or it's not my fault, or, something like that. So anyway, those squirrels really reinforced the manifesting of what I'm supposed to do with my life.
I love it. And in fact, that's a perfect intro
Beautiful.
into sharing a video that was produced by Skip Poe, and about what it is that you're doing out there at the Nature Connection. Let's watch.
I'm starting with what I can afford and what I can do right here. I receive messages from God. He has called me to do this, and I must do it. And the fact that other people think I'm crazy, it really doesn't matter. I'm beyond that point. I believe that we're put here on this earth to love and help each other. And I have found a lot of therapeutic value to being quiet with the animals, to walking in the woods and, being among the leaves changing color and the seasons changing, learning the calls of the birds and the squirrels and all that sort of thing. Through this process of being in touch with nature, people can discover the peace that they find in being in nature. Seems like my whole life has been building up to this point. Like, now that I've given you all of this knowledge and all of these experiences, and this is part of your spirit, what are you going to do with it? And I don't want to just get old and die. I want to share this with others.
Fabulous. Now you've been working in nature and with the animals and in helping them to survive for a few days, right? Wink, wink.
That's right. I've always believed in a saying that I ran across not too long ago that is from the Lakota, and it is Matakwe Oyasi. And that simply means we are all relatives. And I believed in that when I was a little child. I used to, just always be with the animals, always have little bunnies or baby birds or something, with me, just because I felt more comfortable with them than I did with other, people and so forth. And I don't know, it's just been part of my life. I did put together a series of things that I've been through in my life, which went all the way from rescuing and rehabilitating baby draft horses and rehoming them to, becoming a wildlife rehabilitator in the state of Mississippi at the time, where I was taking deer, baby deer and baby raccoons and all of that. And I don't know, I just love nature, and not only the animals, but the plants and everything too. God put everything here on this earth that we need in order to survive. And he can speak to us through the animals and so forth if we only take the time to listen and to watch their behaviors and everything. We would know what to do. And I just believe that through our example in what our passions and our purpose for our life we can teach others to find peace through nature and to find healing.
Absolutely.
So set an example, whatever your purpose is, set an example for others. Words are quickly forgotten, but your life and what you do and how you make others feel are always remembered.
And we brought you on for an eclipse show about the nature connection. And that is not by accident, guys, because when you think about, and this is where I want to go now together collectively, when you think about what happened, okay, all the hubbub, the sun is going to be out there, it's going to be covered up, it's going to be, going forward again out there. And in fact, I've got a little demonstration. Bear with me because there was some toys. I've been gone a little bit. There was some toys in the back end that I'm like, oh, this looks like fun. So we're going to have a little demonstration here. Okay. So, you go from the light like this, and let's just add a little bit of like music there. Okay. You got going there, you got the light going on, and it's on the earth, and feel the frequency, guys. Be thinking about this. Now we're going into the dark. It's going there. Now we're there. The eclipse, right? Now, where were you during this? Were you at the nature connection? Did you have your feet in the ground, grounding, looking up during the day at the stars and what some and the animals would think were night? And for about 2 minutes, you have that going. Then all of a sudden it starts to clear. We're going into the new. It's beginning again. We've heard that from some of our videos. So for our contributors here, our subject matter experts. And then we once again end up with the sun. And I wanted to do this with everybody here to kind of demonstrate the fact that it's all connected. It's that nature connection. That's why you, Janice, and having your nature connection and bringing you on during an eclipse show, it shows that the earth and the sky, the sun and the moon and the stars are all connected. So are we. And the energy played games with us as we started the show. You know that. And you know what? What happened? We continued. And that's the story too. So I'd like to now bring it back to all of you and have a discussion about what it is that connection, that new beginning is for you in your life and for those that you're working with going forward, or any kind of tips that, because we do ask people to have their pen and paper ready to go, tips to help them right now ask themselves, wow, I didn't give it much thought, but now I am. What would you ask them to be doing? Either or. Who would like to start? Wanita, you're going in there. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tamara. I was thinking as all these wonderful guests here, our panel was speaking, there was a religious view that was mentioned. One of our panel members mentioned that there's a religious view, there's a spiritual view, energetic view. We're looking at nature. The religious view, of course, is the coming of Christ, and the spiritual view, is how we are connected and our energy. But what I really experienced when you played that video and you took us from light to light again, is I really experienced the emotion of being in the light and seeing everything clearly, and then getting into a place of darkness and not always knowing what is the next step. But guess what? The light always ciphers through. And then I thought about the sunset, the sunrise and the sunset. It's showing us the cycles, that there's cycles, and that we need to trust these cycles of nature, especially because we are connected to each other and we are connected to the universe. And I think it's very important. There's a tip that I want to share with the audience today. We are not just connected as a human race, we are also energetically connected. And you must be very, very careful in a good way to always put out positive energy, and also be careful of how you share your energy and where and what you're busy with, because you have to always stay in alignment. You always have to stay in focus, and you always have to be present in the moment. And that's what the eclipse did for me emotionally. I think all of us were so focused at what was happening that for once, with the busy lives that we have, with all the external influences that we get, for once we were all present in that moment. And that's when our manifestations come true. And that's when we skip timelines and we walk into new beginnings, because we are focused and our manifestations, that energy is flowing. And it's just beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to piggyback off of something you just said, and either you can answer it, and I'm going to welcome others in the panel to answer it also, because there's a lot of comments out there by a variety of different people that are offering views about what is happening right now, and the idea of timelines. You mentioned that. I'd like to go there a little deeper. What do you mean when you say a timeline? Because some people would say, well, you wake up in the morning, the alarm goes off. The timeline is you go to bed at night, you eat dinner, go to bed at night, start it all over again. And it's this way on and on and on. What are you saying when you say timelines?
Well, I want to explain to the audience that we all are walking in a certain timeline. And these timelines are created by the choices that we make. I always tell people the choices we make is the life that we live. Now, let's look at someone that has a positive perspective, someone that's out there, that's doing good, that's bringing upliftment. Their timeline is an energetic timeline. They are vibrating at a high frequency, which makes them a high performer. But if others, let's say on the other hand, we have someone that always chooses the negative and is always angry and clings onto things in the past, their timeline and their life walk, their path is going to be much different, because they're going to vibrate at a different, lower energy. So it's your choice, and it's my choice every day if I'm going to walk the best timeline that I can walk for me, meaning I am manifesting and creating my timeline as I'm going along. And yes, the dreams that I have, the aspirations that I have, the goals that I set out there, they are all attainable, because I am making the choices and I'm manifesting that. I'm putting my energy into it, and it will be. So when I speak about timelines, I want to encourage the audience that if you are in a situation today and you really want to get out of it and you really feel like you're in a rut, just realize if you are focused and doing introspection, manifesting, putting good energy out there, you have the power within yourself, because you are interconnected to everybody and the universe. You have the power in yourself to get to your goal, to get to your dream, to vibrate at that high frequency, to be that high performer, and to be happy. And it's so beautiful that when we know this, we create a happy timeline. We create a successful timeline. So it really is a matter of introspection and just realizing you don't have to be stuck at the place that you're at. You have that power to manifest. You become a manifesting generator when you decide to vibrate at a high frequency. And we can all do it because we're all connected.
I love it. Who would like to? I know this group. Who would like to piggyback off of that next? Okay, here we go.
I'll come in there. And one of the reasons, and that was beautiful, Wanita, just beautifully expressed. And for some of you who do know me, I actually certify people in timeline therapy. So this is fun. And yes, the timelines, we were, some of my colleagues and students we were discussing about the eclipse this past week in a private group. And we were feeling, a lot of them were feeling that that there was that clearing and there was a timeline shift. So for me, my perception, right, projection is that we have individual timelines and there's no time, right? It really actually is all vibrating at the same time. It's sort of a, what do we want to say? It's something that's kind of created for our reality here. I'll just keep it as simple as that. And that we also have a collective timeline. And that when we are focusing on what we want in the positive, and that's really how you can, if you're, we're all going to be human beings having our experiences. And if you are focusing on something that you don't want, ask yourself, what do I want instead in the positive? Focus on that. And that this is how we do create reality. And then with the timeline jumps, then when we have the focus of groups of people coming in, like we did with this eclipse, focusing on whatever they're focusing on, we have a lot of different ways to describe it, but different timelines that people actually are going on. We'll just leave it at that too.
We'll leave it at that. And we're going to go on. I'm going to add, did I see a hand there, Poe? Okay.
That's great. Everybody's dancing around the same kind of truth, universal spiritual truth with these timelines, just like that little store I went into. And these are, 10 country people that typically, if I ask them, it depends on what's going to happen to them and humanity depends on what timeline you're on. And normally they'd pull out guns and shoot me or tell me to leave the premises, but they were engaged and they asked me, what does that mean? So we started talking about, that which is likened to itself attracts. So your vibration, your frequency kind of defines what timeline you're on. And there's an ancient rock, the prophecy rock, the Hopi prophecy rock. I got to film up there with Grandfather Martin years ago. And it's an ancient rock that shows us this line that goes back to the beginning of humanity, and it keeps going up, and then it splits. And the lower one ends abruptly and not very pleasantly. The top one continues on and around the corner of the rock. And that's that higher timeline. Those are the two timelines. And it's where people resonate and the choices and the way they live that attracts more of that, not only in their own life, but collectively, as Patti put up there too, that collective awareness of consciousness. So that's where we're at. I think in this world right now is a very exciting time to really create be the change you want to see in the world. That's exactly it.
Perfect. And I'm actually going to bring you in right now, Janice, because I want to bring it in to the timeline and the thought. We're covering it with the, if you will, those with the two-legged, species, but the animals and the nature connection and everything like this. Do you feel that it also has its resonance? It has its timeline that connects. Is there a connection within the nature connection to what it is that we're talking? And what are your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. It was interesting during the time of darkness and so forth, before it got light again. Before that, the birds were singing and, everything was doing its thing all around us in the woods. And then all of a sudden, when it started getting dark, everything stopped. And of course, you know, you are awestruck by, you know, this darkness during the middle of the day. And, you know, you're just standing there staring and you just can't believe it. All of the birds and all of the animals just stopped what they were doing. I mean, the little frogs weren't peeping, and the birds stopped, and the chickens got quiet and all that stuff. And then as soon as the sun got light again and everything started getting light, I mean, my rooster started crowing and he did not stop. I mean, he was saying, hey, everybody, wake up. It's time to start all over again. Let's get going. And it was pretty amazing. And all the birds started again and everything. But if I can continue on a little bit different slant, I am a vendor at a state park called the Ozark Folk Center, and I have a leather crafting shop, and I get tourists in there from all over the world. And the days following the eclipse, a lot of people stayed around, and I was in the shop, and it was really neat because the common thread of people coming into the shop and talking about what had gone on, and these were people from California, Oregon, Washington, D.C., you know, Minnesota, Florida, and Austria. Okay, all of this mix of people in the shop together. And I said, well, you know, what did y'all find? What did y'all feel about, you know, the eclipse and all of that? And the most common thing that they said was everybody put aside their differences and got quiet. And it was just a really reverent occasion. And, you know, it just made me feel like it's time for love. It's time for everybody to put aside their differences. It doesn't matter. Politics don't matter. You know, none of the things that we have against each other matters at all. And, you know, I mean, that's just what they were expressing, that everyone put aside their differences. It kind of reminded me of, you know, when you're at the dinner table at Thanksgiving or a big holiday and you've got, you know, 20 relatives sitting around the whole table. And then, you know, Papa gets up to say the blessing and everyone holds hands, even though they may not look each other in the eye or even speak to each other, except when they're there. And, you know, everyone was like holding hands and hoping for a brighter future. So anyhow, that's, I guess I may have gotten off the subject a little bit.
No, that was beautiful. And in fact, what I want to do now is Barbara Beckley, who is one of the rotating hosts for the show and also a video contributor, she created a video about the eclipse and questions. Did you know it? Kind of back, and you know, I want to go there because what you shared. Well, I'm going to share this and then we'll talk again. And I want to say thank you to Pati Maez also, because she actually sent in this image that it's hard to really see it. And yet what, in fact, let me see if what it is here is it's from February 26, 1979, this newspaper right here that she has. And it talks about the next big event is going to be in 2024. Okay, so that takes us back from, it's kind of that back to the future kind of thought, and how everything is interconnected also. And then when you were talking about all the people that came to the folk center from all over the world, it made me think of this video that Barbara had created. When you saw all those people looking up unison, in unison, like, okay, we're all focused in a direction. We're all going forward in that direction. And so it was just beautifully piggyback. So thank you. I wanted to bring that up. And, she also does this a lot. So, did you know today? I did not know that. And I am from Southern California. Yes, San Diego to be exact. And what do we have going on down there? We have the water park that you can go swim with dolphins. I had no idea that they had a day, and today is that day. So with that said, we have a really cute little video I want to share because it just made my heart sing. Here we go. Did you know that they played with pufferfish like balls?
That's awesome.
I got such a big kick out of that too. I thought, nature has a sense of humor, and our animals are, you look at our quote unquote, many of us have pets and we consider them even family, right? And what do? We go and buy toys. We may even take them to the toy store and let them get out, right? Yes, I'm going to bring you back in because I think that absolutely, the animals, they have a sense of humor. They are playful. I'd love to hear what you think.
Well, I mean, God has a sense of humor and plays along with us too. I just wanted to say this. I thought of this when you were doing that. We have Skip and I have a friend. His name is Adam Yellowbird, and he has a lot of influence on some of the things we're about to do and that we're doing. But anyway, I looked out my window the other day, and there was a new bird outside. And it was a bright yellow bird. I think it was a yellow warbler. And I thought, oh, wow, because I've been trying to catalog, all of the different birds I'm seeing, all the new plants and everything. So there was this beautiful yellow bird. And I turned around, the phone rang, I picked it up, and Skip said, well, guess who's going to come and see us? Adam Yellowbird. And I was like, I know, he's right outside my window. Anyway, just a little piece of humor.
Oh, I love that.
These types of things, when you're on your path to achieving your purpose, you get these little signs and signals, and this is sort of accelerated around the eclipse. And I don't know what it means. It has to be a good thing. It certainly feels good, and there is humor in it.
I love it. In fact, you are taking me right where I wanted to go, as we have a few moments left, and then I do have a very special Earth Day video from Swampy, because Swampy and I have been celebrating Earth Day and bringing awareness to it for, 7, 8, 9, 10 years now, every single year. And so he called me up. He said, so Tam, are we doing that? And I'm like, send me a video and we'll put it on today. And so I want, as we're talking about this, I want everybody to know we're recognizing that this is the month of Earth Day. And, it's interesting, solar eclipse, Earth Day, Dolphin Day is like, okay, what is it telling us? And I want to go there right now, because as we are looking at going forward with let's be real. I mean, Skip, you did it in a very good way. You took us from, what is being projected out there in the quote unquote, daily news, whatever you want to say it. What's being projected out there, and what are we choosing to do with our lives? Are we choosing to go and listen to all of that, or are we choosing to look at, it's April 2024, and look at what we've been celebrating today, and what are our choices? And I'd like to go into that a little deeper, since we've got, let's just say, about 3 minutes right now to have a discussion with you all about, because you have such a wealth of experience and you're coming from different places, yet you are all in alignment. What would you like to share right now, as some people might even be listening to the radio, to the news today, throughout the world, and they may be saying, I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling a little down on that frequency scale. What would you be sharing with them? Skip, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. That's great. And the comments, and this, one of the things I want to celebrate and applaud are the people, be it you, Tamara and Janice and all of you, and the people watching. So many, you get the Barbaras and Patty, and so many people have been doing what they came here for with what they have to work with right now. It's not like, well, when this happens or that happens, you're walking the path. You're, as they call it, walking the red road. And that's what we want to inspire, and starting with each of us. And I think that's my message, because we have an opportunity collectively that if we can help, bottle that and inspire others, that will continue this shift to an amazing future. So
I love it. I love it. Who would like to piggyback off of that? Okay.
Okay, that was wonderful, Skip. And yes, we all have our individual gifts. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Be in that sense of wonder, right? And like the videos of everyone looking at the eclipse, there's a sense of awe and wonder. And like what Janice is doing, and all of everyone here, get out in nature, ground yourself, feel her pulse. She's shifting too. Let's shift together, all as one.
I love it. I love it. Wanita, I saw your hand.
Yay! I absolutely love and agree with everything that our wonderful panel has said. My words to the audience would be bring upliftment. And start with yourself. Find that which uplifts you. Is it putting on a song that you like and dancing like crazy? Is it sharing laughter with your friends? Is it going out alone in nature, climbing that mountain and meditating? Start with yourself, uplift yourself, raise that vibration, but make sure you bring upliftment to others. Spread it to the collective and see what wonderful miracles will transpire.
Absolutely. And Janice, what would you like to share in regards to this?
I would just like to say that you should begin each day thanking God for the abundance that you have in your own life. I mean, just think about it. And a prayer of thanks to God for abundance is just so important to start your day right. And also remember, in your life, you get what you project. So, someone was speaking about that earlier, but it is so true that if you have a negative attitude about things, you're going to get negative stuff. So even though, bad stuff happens to all of us, a lot of times it's happening for a good reason, because maybe we were kind of getting off track. So
that's good.
Project positiveness and you will get it back.
That's good. Write that down, guys. And I want to say this, and then we're going to go into the Earth Day video, is that when we're talking about this, and some people throughout the world, because we do have audience from all over the world, and we welcome you, and #live, #replay. You may be saying, well, yeah, but you don't understand. I'm living in my car right now, and you want me to be grateful for that? Or I am living out on the street right now. You want me to be grateful for that? Yes. Yes, let me just say, we're alive. And many have been in those opportunities for growth. And it's an opportunity for all of us. And so I like what you shared right now, Janice. It's and how are we looking at this? Because many times in our community that we support with this show, many times people could feel pretty sorry for themselves with some of the stuff that they're dealing with. Yet, when they look at it for the gift, and we talked about this last Friday night, when they look at it for the gift that it is, it shifts it all. And then you find the gift, and then you go on and you're able to implement it in the next chapter of your life. And so I want to say thank you for everyone that's shared that. So let's go to this video that was produced by and shared by Swampy, and then we're going to finish up our show with a few comments.
Hey everybody, hope y'all had a great Eclipse day. My name is Swampy. I cover the environments. I get involved with soils, waters, animals, mankind, plants, and you. And looking forward to what you did on Eclipse Day and with Tamara, Hunter, and friends. And you guys have a great, happy Earth Day, April 22nd.
So remember, go plant a tree. Go put your feet in the dirt or the sand or the grass. As we round and around we have gone on Earth Day. That's a whole nother subject. We're not going to go there right now because some would say, wait a minute, is it really round? Or we're not going to go there right now. Yet, with that said, what I want to do, because what comes around goes around, and we've had a delightful and a really insightful discussion, is I would like for it to give 30 seconds to each one of you. 30 seconds, and I'm going to pull the Barbara game here. If it goes longer than 30 seconds, you're going to get that out of the mush pot, and then the next one will get to go in. So I'm going to start with you, Janice. What would you like to leave everybody with for 30 seconds?
Follow your heart. Be aware of what your life has been leading up to, and know that the purpose for our life was breathed into us by God, and it's time for us to give back.
Perfect. Okay. I love it. Wanita?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for a fabulous show, Tamara, and the beautiful panel. I just want to say something short. I want to say, when you make that decision every day, decide to chase joy, chase happiness, and let that energy vibrate through the rest of your life and onto every area, whether it's your children that you're raising, your workplace, whether it's friends that you are connecting to. Chase joy, because that's going to raise your vibration. You're going to be happy. Everybody around you is going to be happy, and the outcome is going to be beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing this, everything that you've shared, panel. It was wonderful to be here.
Perfect. And that leads us to Joy, and you're going to have to go fast because we still got Skip.
Okay, so just follow your heart every day. Ask yourself, what do I need to do today to be me? And instead of being ordinary, be extraordinary, and live your life and be bold and brave.
I love it. And Skip, we're going to have you end it.
Well, Tamara said, raising up that frequency, and depending on where you are, could it be gratitude, joy, love, whatever. If you're down in guilt or pain or, anger or apathy, what's the next step? Is it courage? And if you are going to be worry for 5 minutes in the beginning of the day, and then I did it, embraced it, let it go. And now let's go to the next step. Courage to do something else.
I love it. And with that, we're going to have the courage to say goodbye and see you next week. Here we go. I want to say thank you for joining us today and welcome you back next Sunday as we once again are joined by a panel of subject matter experts that will explore and focus in on our fabulous lives. Until next Sunday.